I'll just press record. Okay, let's go. Okay, so how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm coping under the circumstances.
As we all should be.
You know, so I mean, let's start with like when you found out that we were like getting a lockdown and all of that. Like, take me through your emotions.
Well, I think we all underestimated how like extreme it was gonna be, right?
Yeah,
Because I was still going to campus since I'm
yeah,
doing my master's at BIT, and we were trying to attend classes until there was a case of COVID at BIT,
yeah,
and then they shut down the school. So
yeah,
I think once school was shut down was the moment where I was like, oh my God, this is actually real. Like, no more
yes,
attending lectures, no more seeing clients. Like, your whole entire life is shut down, essentially.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, but you asked about my emotions. So I think it was a delayed reaction.
Okay.
And once it got to me, I started processing it very slowly.
And when do you think like it got to you? Like at what point? Was it when the extension was happening or
I think yes, because we were all convinced that it would be a lockdown just for like a week, two
yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
And then
I was
once the
convinced too.
extension happened,
Yeah,
it was like, okay, yeah, this is really happening.
yeah. And then take me like through that. What has been your process to like getting to a place of sort of positivity and you know?
So in the beginning of the lockdown, I made the decision to start my YouTube channel.
Yes.
And I think that kind of gave me a new structure because
Mm-hmm.
once a week I would go see clients in the studios. This is artists. I go see artists in their studios. Then I'd see clients in their homes or in restaurants. A lot of my work was outside of home. So I
Yeah,
needed to create something for myself that was indoors, right?
yeah.
So I was already like super committed to the gym. So that was cut out of my life. And I had to create a new gymming routine indoors as well. So I decided I'll film on certain days, I'll wake up at a certain time, exercise at a particular time, and then make, a whole structure for school, for work, and so on. But it had to be like a lot of restructuring on my end.
And like, how did you just like do that? Because I know it may sound like a weird question, but like a lot of people felt like just down because their business is affected, or maybe like they're facing like, not getting enough income, etc., etc. So they're like a routine, like my goals are like out of the picture. So how did you just like shift to like, okay,
No,
I'm going to actually focus on doing something and focus on being positive?
I think in the beginning, because now I'm at that point where I'm tired, but in the beginning, I had this like burst of, positivity,
Yeah.
creativity. I was like, I'm gonna make lemonade out of these lemons. So I think sometimes when you're squashed in a very difficult position, you can react in one or two ways, where you'll
Yeah.
just be like, I don't have time for this, or you can decide to make the most of it. And that's how I started. However, I kind of got to a plateau where I was like, honestly, this is a pandemic. Like, if I'm being real, I
Yeah.
don't have to do the most because I actually, in the beginning, wanted to maintain communication with my clients. This is in relation to art curating.
Yeah.
I wanted to maintain communication with artists. I was asked to contribute to a book publication, so I was writing. I was asked to curate an exhibition. So I was very like keen. And then I sat down and thought to myself, first of all, the government is not prioritizing artists right now. Like,
Yeah.
the reliefs that are out there are very difficult to get. And our minister, Natim Tetwa, is very, very quiet on a lot of things. So
Yeah.
it kind of disillusioned me. And then I thought to myself, let me be honest, like, who's buying art right now? Like,
Yeah.
right now, artists can't perform, artists can't go to their gigs. And then the people who used to purchase art are the ones whose businesses are also struggling for
Yeah.
money on art currently. So
Yeah.
I had to go back to the drawing board and think I have to kind of minimize that side of my business and focus on other things. So I wrote for the book publication. Then my colleagues and I curated a kind of digital exhibition that might happen depending on how the lockdown goes.
Yeah.
But it was all about doing work that actually isn't paying right now, because
Yeah.
I haven't been paid for writing. I haven't been paid for proposing a show, but it's work that might, pay off at the end. But as far
Yes.
as making sales, I can't be delusional and think that people are going to try to buy stuff when they can't even get essential or less essential items,
Yeah, that's true.
So then that's why I decided to focus on creating my own content, trying to do the YouTube thing. Luckily, YouTube pays. It takes a long time, but I think now is the best time to start anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Trying to figure out other means of making money, trying to focus on the more influencing side of things, approaching brands. There's a lot that you actually can try to do. I'm not trying to romanticize the situation, but I
Of
think
course.
that's where my whole thinking has gone now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, in terms of like your business as well, do you feel like down about it, or is it something that you feel like, as you're saying, it's just something that you're going to pick up as it goes? Because obviously, like you're saying, yours has had to come to a standstill, and that's your main
Yes.
income. Yeah.
I had to put it on hold. And for instance, I run this Instagram page with some of my colleagues that I work with. We have decided to do weekly posts for like our past work, just to keep that brand alive, and also just not to let it die. But that's as much work as I'm willing to do right now. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to focus all my energy when I know it's not going to work.
Yeah.
And it's a bit sad because I've applied for the COVID relief programs for artists,
Yes.
curators, independent workers.
Yeah.
And because a lot of the time I work in a collective, some of the institutions that I've applied to have said they don't fund collectives. So they only fund individuals and so on, which was very confusing for me, because a lot of the time artists work with other people. Like, it's almost impossible to pull off a show alone. So I was very disheartened by that. And I just had to shift my focus.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I like that you're shifting your focus to like things that are more productive and things that focusing on making it in another way. Because I think when we focus too much on like this was my plan, then we don't like think
Yeah.
of other creative ways to like, make money or like survive. And then in terms of like
Exactly.
you garnering your own like support system through this time, how has that been?
From like a personal perspective.
Yeah, personal perspective, yeah.
It's been tricky, I don't know, do you live alone or not?
Yeah, I live alone.
So you might relate, like, you go through phases with this
Yeah.
lockdown. Like, some moments you want to be unbothered, you don't want anyone to call you, you're in your
Yes.
little cocoon.
Yeah.
And then some days you're like, I need people.
Yes.
So it's been a roller coaster between those two, but without fail, my mother calls me every second day. She makes
Okay.
it her priority.
That's good.
Just yesterday, she called me saying she's so stressed because she knows I'm all alone in Joburg. She really wishes I could come home. And
Sorry.
I had to assure her that for me, leaving is not an option. Everything that I'm doing now requires me to be where I am.
Yeah.
And friends, we check in. I've got about 2 friends that I call like almost on a daily.
Okay.
The other time I was MIA on Twitter for like 2 days. I was just on a social media break. Then my one friend was like, are you okay? Like, you haven't tweeted in 2 days and I know you're always tweeting. It's those little things where you see that people notice your absence, even though we're not physically, seeing each other.
Yeah.
Yes. But we try. I mean, I know I try to do a good job at checking in on people, but it's also managing that distance, because sometimes we just want to be alone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I also get that feeling sometimes of just like I don't want anyone to contact me right now. Yeah. Anyway,
Same,
yeah.
same.
Yeah. Anyway, your YouTube has been doing so amazing, and you have been like doing the most. You're covering like amazing topics. Take me through like why you
Thank
decided
you.
to start YouTube. Obviously, besides you've explained that, you know, the sort of something, a project of your own. But like how is it helping you, and like how's the process been for you? And you've been very consistent, so that's great as well.
Thank you. I think the first one was just needing an outlet
Yeah.
because I felt very misunderstood and I want to show the world who I am. And I know that sounds like very dramatic, but I
Yeah.
genuinely I genuinely was in a place where I thought it's time for me to be vulnerable, to be open, you know, to allow people into like my life or give them a slice of my life.
Yeah.
And I have many reasons for like the content that I create, but I want to show people that you can be into different types of things. And for
Yes.
me, it's all about how I feel or what I want to do. Like if I want to do a makeup look, if I want to do a hair look, and then if I want to chat about serious issues, it's literally been the most organic process for me. And it's also because I had been thinking about this YouTube thing for a while, like for a
Yeah.
while, but
Yeah.
I just needed the bravery to start. Like I had so many insecurities, which I'm sure you will also relate to
Yeah. Yeah.
as a YouTuber. When it comes to starting, it's like
Yeah.
the most nerve-wracking thing.
It
And then
is.
once you put the content out there, it's no longer yours. Like you
Yeah.
you have done your bit. So when I started, I didn't even intend to start. I had put up this background, but it was in
Yes.
my room the other time. And
Yeah.
I just put it up for a photo. Like I wanted to take a nice photo with the background.
Yeah.
And then my one friend or colleague, Amo, was like to me, "Whoa, that looks like a very YouTuber background, you
Backdrop.
know?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
we starting a channel soon?" And I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God. And this was on Instagram. It wasn't a private conversation. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now it's real. Like I have to do it. Like
Yeah.
I don't have an excuse. I have
Yeah.
a camera, I have the sunlight. I can't complain
Yes.
about not having lights, not having a mic.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll just see what happens. And I was
Yes.
also like, oh my God, I don't know how to edit. Then I spoke to my one friend who's also a YouTuber, Foyin. She said, you'll learn. There are videos on YouTube that teach you how to learn because I wanted to
Yeah.
pay someone. And she
Yeah.
was like, it's going to be so expensive to pay someone to edit. Rather
Yes.
learn, do it yourself. You'll get better. Just start. So it was all those like nitty gritties
Yes.
that got me to eventually start. And I already had like the content in my mind. I already have the lifestyle that I live that I can show people. So all I needed
Yes.
to do was start.
Yeah. And I think this is a great time to start as well because I've seen a lot of YouTubers have been a little bit more laid back now. It's like everyone is a little bit more honest, a little bit more
Yes,
relatable, you know.
yes.
So yeah, I think it's also a great time to start because like people are watching and we're all a little bit more less guarded. Yeah.
I think so too. And we want to see like people's true nature. Of course, you can never be fully authentic on camera,
Of course. Yeah.
but it's time for us to just breathe and be ourselves.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I was so nervous, but now I'm kind of at a place where I'm a little bit more chilled, like around the whole shooting process and so on.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, you look more like you're in your element now. You've got it going.
Now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also like have you received like any bad messaging or has it all just been good?
Not at all. Hey, like
That's good.
I, I, I haven't even received one bad comment. I'm not gonna lie. I posted my first vlog a few weeks ago or so, and
Yeah, I remember.
technically I had a lot of issues. So my subscribers were saying, watch your overexposure, watch your white balance, watch
Yeah.
the sound when you overlay a song. So it was like critical and positive feedback that I
Yeah.
needed, constructive feedback, but nothing bad at all.
Okay, that's great. I love that. And then let's talk
Yeah.
about school. I'm also doing my master's, so I know it's an uphill battle.
Are
How
you
is
doing
that
a
going?
master's as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's a lot.
I know
Yeah,
it's the ghetto. Like this
yeah,
for me, the whole online learning process is the worst.
yeah,
Like you don't understand. There's a big difference between attending a seminar once a week and having to
yes,
do it at home. And
yes,
they cut them down because our seminars usually were 4 hours. Now they're only 1 hour and a half. But
yeah,
still, like they feel so long. I barely catch up with my readings. I
yes,
barely submit things on time. Like I'm being
yes,
completely honest, I'm a mess. My
yes,
supervisor asked me like, when do you want to start speaking about your proposal? Because we have to submit before the 29th of May. And I
yes,
was like, I'm so overwhelmed. That's something I didn't do in my honors year. So I thank
yes,
myself for the growth. In my
yeah,
honors year, I'd always duck and dive.
yeah,
But I just said to him, and I was honest, I'm so overwhelmed. I've got a lot going on. This lockdown is stressful, and I'm adapting to the online learning system. Then he
yes,
said, I totally understand. Make sure that your coursework is, submitted on time. Then we
yes.
can work on the proposal. So
Okay,
apart from accountability and being transparent, I've been a mess. Like I'm not gonna lie, it's been
yeah.
absolutely difficult, but I'm trying.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can completely understand because it's very different. Like you're in a rhythm when you're attending every week and you kind of
Yes,
know, yeah. Now it's like, oh, wait, snap, I have that submission. And then, like you're saying, I have my
you
thesis
even
and
forget.
I know, I know. I also had to submit my research report title and I was like, girl, I forgot. So I'm not even gonna lie.
You forgot.
I forgot. I was just like, oh, sorry. So I
No, I
completely
feel you.
understand you. Yeah, yeah,
I still am even applying for scholarships, and I'm
yeah,
like, they want
yeah.
this, they want that. It's like life needs to continue, you still have to
Yes,
pay for your degree at the end of the
you
day.
do.
You still need to, you can't not have a bursary. Those are the
No.
things that you would have been in the rhythm of doing if you were physically attending. But
Yes.
now you just forget.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, you've also mentioned that you've been sort of giving yourself grace to be like, I can't, I'm sorry, I'm overwhelmed. And then
Yes.
where do you think that's coming from? Because I think like in our normal day lives, we struggle to give ourselves that grace of like, actually, this is a lot. Yeah,
I think it's sheer exhaustion, firstly, but it's also having people around me that affirm me. Because I'll say to like a friend of mine, oh, I'm so lazy to go for my run today. Like I said that this morning. And he
yeah,
was like, give yourself a break. You've been running the whole week.
yeah,
And you forget because we're so hard on ourselves. When it comes to school, you've been busy working on YouTube content, you've been creating Instagram content. Where do you think you'll have the capacity to fit in 3 readings by Monday? So
yes,
understanding that your livelihood depends on those things, because as adult students we have to work. It's not like
yeah, yeah.
we're full
It's not
time.
like being an
So
undergrad, yeah.
exact, as much as I'm hard on myself, I need to give myself a little bit of slack. Like studying while working is hard,
It
and
is.
you can give yourself that slack sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, it just can't be a pattern, but like sometimes you can.
Yes, you can't.
I
That
agree.
can't be you all the time.
No,
Sometimes.
yeah, I agree. And then in terms of like your goals and everything now, how's that looking? Or are you just going with everything?
Girl, I'm going with everything. All the goals that I had can't technically be achieved right now. Like
Yeah,
the goals that I had were very physical things. Like I was
yeah,
like, I want to purchase a car. I
yeah,
want to do this. I want to do that. Those were things that I had put out there, and they were dependent on earning X amount of money. So if
yes,
my business is suffering, there's no way I'll be able to do that. I
yeah,
wanted, before the lockdown started, I wanted to move out of my current place. I
yeah,
wanted to move to a place that was closer to school.
yeah,
And a place that was slightly cheaper as well.
yes,
And I got stuck because the lockdown happened, we couldn't move. And
yeah,
then once the restrictions were lifted, my landlord asked me, do you still want to move out? And I was like, I don't even have the money to move out anymore.
Yes.
Because I'm going to need to cough up a new deposit. I'm going to need to buy certain things. I'm going to need to pay a removal company.
Yes.
Now it's just about living within my means.
Yes.
Getting the basics that I can afford. Like all those material goals that I have or had kind of had to be put to the side. So now it's more about, okay, where am I going to take my career under these circumstances? It can't be those check box kind of goals that I had in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you're not pretending to yourself, because I think that's also another disillusion that people have, is like, you know, it's like I'm going to be able to do this and that and that, and it's like, no, we're under a very different time. Yeah. And no, you were saying?
No, I agree.
Yeah. And then just in terms of like, you know, you as a person, what do you think lockdown has been teaching you?
It's taught me that I'm actually more disciplined than I think I am. Like the things that I've committed myself to that are YouTube, healthy eating, exercising. Those are the things that I'm clocking right now that I never thought I would have been able to do.
Yeah.
Like I always had this idea of myself as a lazy individual. Yeah. And sometimes I am, but I really do put in the work. Like the week before, I was probably up at 4 a.m. editing a video just so I could upload it on the Tuesday. Those things that I kind of didn't see myself doing because we have so much self-doubt are kicking in now, because you have to adapt. You have to adapt all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, what would be your message to everyone now, like in terms of them coping and just going through everything?
I think the main one would be, as we've discussed, go easy on yourself, because I remember doing this rant about how everyone is on this weight loss train during the lockdown. And I think now people have eased off that. People are making delicious food. People are like, life is short now. But in the beginning, a lot of people were putting so much pressure on themselves to be thin, to exercise, to do this. And as much as like I'm super into fitness, I never wanted to get to a point where it's at the expense of your mental health or your self-esteem. So I can apply that to anything: your work, your school, your relationships. Cut yourself some slack. We're in a pandemic. That's definitely the main thing. But also in the same breath, push yourself.
Yeah.
We're in a position now where you might never get this time back. So try to go the extra mile. Try to make the most of what you have, even if you have nothing. If you want to start a YouTube channel and you only have a cell phone, just start. You know, those little things that we would otherwise be afraid to do, I would totally encourage people to do right now.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And thank you for being so open during this chat. I think it's always nice to know that like everyone is, you know, going through things and you're not.
We are going. I wanted to do my makeup and look cute for this video, but I've been cleaning. I mean, life is happening.
Yes.
Like, nothing is the same.
No. Nothing at all.
And it's okay.
Yeah, I agree. And I really hope you get that Jungle Oats endorsement, you know, because you are the minister of oats.
We're working on it.
Good. I hope so. Yeah, I hope they give it to you because you deserve it. Anyway, thanks for this chat.
I've been putting in work.
Like you have.
Thank you, Tando. Thank you so much.
Oats, sweet oats, everything. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Sure.
So